Your Miss South Africa 2022 is Ndavi Nokeri!
Oh my word, and what a moment that was. Gorgeous, as you can see there on screen, and even more so in person. Ndavi Nokeri from Limpopo, she's been crowned Miss South Africa 2022. The 23-year-old from Tzaneen obtained her BCom Investment Management qualification from the University of Pretoria and was working as a consultant for an asset management firm in Cape Town at the time of her crowning. And she will, of course, represent South Africa at the world's 3 most prestigious pageants, being Miss World, Miss Universe, and of course, Miss Supranational. And she joins us now in studio this morning to share a bit more about herself and the experience, and also what her reign is likely to entail. Ndavi, good morning. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
So let's go back to that moment. You know, and it seems, I actually had goosebumps watching it, because just looking at your emotion, the outpouring of emotion, and literally shaking. Talk to us about that moment.
I was also getting emotional right now as I watched it, because I haven't actually gotten the chance to rewatch the show, but that was just utter shock. You know, when you've dreamt about something becoming a reality for so long, when it actually happens, it's such a surreal moment. I couldn't believe it was happening.
So you say you've dreamt about this. So has it always been a dream for you?
Absolutely, but growing up, I didn't really know how far this could go. You know, I did my first pageant when I was 5, but I didn't really know what it was all about. But when I did my pageant in 2019, I really started to understand what pageantry can do for us as women. And so I thought, you know what's the next big thing? And that was Miss South Africa. And I think there's no better place to make an impact on our country than on this platform, especially as a woman.
So, you know, you speak about pageantry and what it can do for women. And you would know that in contemporary society, the whole issue of pageantry has become a bit controversial. So when you say, you know, the things that it can do for women and how it can perhaps empower women, let's talk about how you view this space.
Yeah, so I think pageantry is very important in today's time. It really shows that our femininity should be celebrated as women, that we don't have to try to do it like a man, that you can do it as a woman and still empower so many around you. I think one thing that I really love about women leaders is that they always make sure that they pull the community with them. And so that's exactly what this platform does. We've seen many Miss South Africans become formidable businesswomen, entrepreneurs. They've gone to write amazing books that have inspired young girls, myself as well. And so I really think that it's playing such an important role in society.
So I was reading something yesterday and someone said, you know, is it a rite of passage that Miss South Africa would become a presenter for some TV show? And I thought about that and I was like, man, you know, I'm not sure how I feel about that. So, you know, there are obviously the stereotypes. And how do you deal with those as Miss South Africa?
I'm not sure if I quite understand your question. Do you mind elaborating?
So, for example, as I mentioned, so people would expect you to now take on some role as a TV presenter, because some feel that seems to be the natural progression for a Miss South Africa. But, you know, is that necessarily how you see it? Or do you have bigger, greater dreams and aspirations and hoping where this title could take you next?
Yeah, I don't think you necessarily have to become a presenter or a TV personality. I think a lot of the women that walk this platform are busy with so many other things. I myself have a qualification in investments, and so I'd like to bring that in and, you know, use it in my platform to not only empower myself but also the people around me. So I don't think you have to go into become a TV personality. You can continue with whatever you were passionate about, but this platform just accelerates that growth, and whatever you're working on just makes it so much bigger.
And I'm excited about this opportunity to engage you. For one, just to show people that, you know, this isn't a ditzy poppy who has been crowned, because speaking to those stereotypes again, because, you know, people have serious, certain misconceptions about Miss South Africa. Now, let's talk to your experience, you know, during the pageant, and also something else that I picked up where people spoke about the seemingly mandatory question about world peace and climate change. What are your thoughts on those?
Well, a pageant is a pageant, and I think at the end of the day, we don't have to really judge those topics because they are very important topics to have. We really do have to speak on what are we doing to save the environment, but I think it's so much bigger than that. You know, I myself, I'm passionate about educational inequality in our country, so I think the platform really just focuses on advocating for a cause that would really make the world a better place, and it doesn't necessarily always have to be world peace, but that is one of the things that we are also working towards.
So your focus for your reign, you know, you speak about education, and very important subject in South Africa. So are you able to just elaborate on perhaps where you'd like to take that?
Yeah, I think education is really the key to success, but being a woman who grew up in a village and yet got the opportunity to go to more advanced schools, I experienced two worlds in the same country. You know, I realized that in my school I was given opportunities and different resources than my peers back at home, and which isn't really fair because they didn't choose to be born in those spaces. And what really happens is that there's this continued poverty cycle because they do not get the opportunities to, you know, soar higher, see what other careers are out there for them. And so I really want to be that bridge that narrows that gap to ensure that they get the same resources, they get exposed to different skills and mentorship, and for them to just really know that there's so much more out there for them, because you can really limit your dreams when you don't see it happening for anyone in your village.
So finally, have you been back to your village? You know, because I saw some pictures yesterday of people dancing and celebrating. How did that feel, you know, seeing that?
For me, it was so reaffirming that I belong here, and that this is really a groundbreaking moment for any village girl or anyone who's ever felt like they do not belong in our society. They did a little pageant in the village, and I was like, I think this really set them free and shows them that it is possible regardless of where you come from. But yes, we're planning my homecoming, and that should be sometime coming up next week, and I'm so excited to go home.
Where's it, Dan Village?
Gabaza Village. Close to Dan Village, very close.
Yeah, you see, I've been to that part of the world.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful part of the world,
really is.
And it's given us the most beautiful girl in the land.
Thank you so
Ndavi,
much.
thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
And that was, of course, our newly crowned Miss South Africa, Ndavi Nokeri, and she's also crowned winner of the People's Choice Vote. And I can tell you, sitting across from her, I get it. And thanks so much, Ndavi, for stopping by. We're going to take a quick break now here on Morning Live.